Deputy Chairperson, the commissioners and staff of the Electoral Commission, our distinguished guests and partners, the media fraternity, you're welcome. First of all, I would like to thank all the people of Uganda, the candidates, their supporters, the political parties, members of the security services, the staff of the Electoral Commission, civic and religious leaders, for the journey we have undertaken so far to date, which marks the end of campaigns for presidential and parliamentary elections in line with the law. The law says that campaigns shall stop or cease 48 hours from the time of polling. That's why we expect as a commission that at 6 o'clock today, all mass or campaign rallies will come to a halt or be concluded. For those who have radio programs, those ones can go on until midnight. After midnight, no program on radio or TV that is of a campaign nature or in support of any candidate will be aired. Secondly, no candidate will be permitted to move around with the mobile sound systems, airing out music or messages in support of his or her candidature, or even campaigns by agents. The conclusion of the campaigns does not only affect the candidates, but even their agents. Agents are also not supposed to campaign or to conduct campaigns on behalf of their candidates after 6 p.m. for rallies and after midnight for radio program or TV programs. Tomorrow should be generally rest day, or to allow the candidates, together with their campaign teams, to put finishing touches on their arrangements. What is not prohibited under the law are meetings of the candidate or with his agents for purposes of planning for polling day. That one is allowed. Those meetings are allowed in law. Facilitation for those agents is also permitted. What is not allowed is looking or canvassing for votes from voters. On a polling day, again, no campaigns are allowed or permitted. And furthermore, if you are going to the polling station to cast your vote, you are not permitted to go putting on any attire, or while putting on an attire that bears a message in support of any candidate, or a portrait of that candidate, or colors of your party, if you belong to a party and your candidate is a flag bearer of that party. If you are going to the polling station, please avoid moving or attired or dressed in such attires. Furthermore, on that day, we should maintain peace. We should observe law and order. And let people, the voters, get to the polling stations without any hindrance or obstruction. Our people who cannot, because of physical impairment, vote by themselves are permitted in law to go with someone to help or to assist them. A person who is visually impaired or blind, or a person who does not have hands or fingers can go, or someone who is very old and maybe cannot hold the pen properly and so forth. Those, the law permits them to go with a person of their choice to assist them in expressing their will as to who they are voting for at the polling station. But you, the people who are going to assist such people, you are not allowed to assist more than one person. You only assist one person, that is all. And secondly, the helper is a matter of choice of the voter. Don't volunteer. Don't stand on the road and wait for the elderly or for the blind and say, can I go and help you? The person who is impaired can even come with a child, a grandchild who is not 18 years old. Because the law says, even though the helper is not yet of age, the helper, that person, is only coming to help this impaired voter, this physically impaired voter, to cast the vote. It does not matter whether the person or the child is below 18 years or above 18 years. So that is one thing I want to clarify. Secondly, members of the press, we also invited you here to carry out a live demo of the layout of a polling station. Because when you look at the law prescribes or states that the first table where voters queue in front of, that should be considered maybe the entry point to the polling station, where you will find the operator with the BVVK machine, the presiding officer with the register, the polling register for that polling station, and the ballot papers. That table is where the voter will be identified and confirmed biometrically, either using the thumbprint or fingerprints rather, or the facial. The law says after the voter has been identified, that first table, the second table from the first table should be 15 meters. The second table is supposed to be 15 meters from the first table. On that second table, that's where they have placed our booth, the polling booth, which is the open basin. That's where the voter now ticks or thumbprints the ballot paper to choose the candidate of his or her liking or her choice. That second table, as I said, under the law, should be 15 meters. The third table from this second table should be 10 meters away. That third table is where the ballot box is placed. After the voter has ticked or thumbprinted, we are going to demonstrate there, on the ballot paper, folds it properly, and then moves to the third table where the ballot box is, and casts or puts or inserts the ballot paper inside. The fourth table, which should be 10 meters away from the ballot box table, is where you find the polling assistant with the marker or the ink pad to ink the finger or the thumb of this voter as a sign that this person has voted. So that is the layout of a polling station as defined in the law. After the vote has been inked on the thumb or, or whatever, then the voter will exit the polling station and go away. So that's the layout. And that's why we were saying, in some places, observing these statutory distances is not even possible in some areas, as we know. Some polling stations do not laid out in such a way that you cannot achieve the 10 meters, the 15 meters. Because from what I see, the first table, second table 15 meters, third table 10, those are 25. Then fourth table 10, those are 35 meters. Some places don't have that distance or that space. So that's why we have been saying, please, let us, as much as possible, create enough room to allow the other voters who have not yet cast their vote to also come and cast their vote. Now, secondly, according to the law, the agents of a candidate, okay, are supposed to sit at a table or be positioned in such a way that that agent is able to cross-check the names of the voters on the voters register as against the voters identification he or she has come with. So the seating arrangement of the agents, if that is table number 1, they should sit in such a manner they should be in a position to observe what is taking place at table number 1, where the voters are being identified and where the ballot papers are being issued from. The agents are not supposed to sit, for example, where those people are seated behind you there. If this is the table number 1, the agents cannot sit there. Those about how many meters? About 7 or 8? No. They should sit as near as possible to the first table, because their role is to observe and ensure that the correct voters are identified, or the legitimate voters are properly identified, and that each voter is issued or given a one ballot paper. One man, one vote principle. So that is the layout. Now, the other thing, of course, we want to bring the attention to, you are not, for those of you who have bars next to the polling station, the law says you shall not sell any liquor within 100 meters of a polling station. So please, you close the bar, you will not collapse for only one day. If you have not made money for this month, you are not going to miss out much money on the polling day because of your bar not being opened. So if your bar is next or close to a polling station, don't open it, because that is now dangerous. People will just go there, start drinking. The polling station is nearby. Before you know it, the station is invaded by drunkards and chaos ensues. So we make sure that does not happen. Now, the other issue that we wanted to emphasize, invalid votes. I think it was somebody the other day who was he made an observation in such a humorous and comic manner. Said, you see, in 2020, in most elections, you get the first presidential candidate with so many votes. You get the second presidential candidate. Then the third one is invalid votes with the highest number of votes. Invalid votes takes number 3. Hey, that is very sad. Now we have in the training of our presiding officers, we have emphasized on what amounts to an invalid vote and what does not. In some cases, we have realized that because the voter has put the tick or thumbprint on the face or the photograph of the candidate, or the name of the candidate, or the symbol of the candidate, not the designed box or space for the tick or thumbprint, some people say, because he or she has not put the tick or the mark, the polling mark, in the right box or space, this ballot is invalid. That is wrong. And the law explains it very clearly, that a vote shall not be rendered or declared invalid merely because the tick or thumbprint is not placed in the box designed for that purpose. If the voter has put the tick on the photograph of the candidate, you can understand, that is automatic. He is voting for this candidate. If he puts it in the symbol of the candidate, then that one also can be understood. Oh, he is voting for this candidate. If he's putting it on the names of the candidate, again, that is clear that he was voting for this particular candidate. And that's why can be discerned or understood that ballot paper is valid. We shall demonstrate there how what is an invalid ballot paper. If the tick crosses from the box of candidate Aisha to candidate Karo, then in that case, the intention of the voter may not be understood. Did he mean to vote for Karo or Aisha? That one becomes invalid. Or if the thumbprint crosses the two boxes, again, it becomes difficult to understand whom he meant to give this vote. If the law says there are only two recognized marks in law, polling marks or voting marks. One, the tick or thumbprint. If you get your candidate and in that box you put yes, that's not allowed. No, that is not allowed. Or if you have ticked for your candidate in the right box, but then you put crosses for the others, that is wrong. Our man, our lady, those are not recognized marks of polling or voting. Those are not allowed. Just make one tick. Just make one tick or thumbprint on that ballot paper. Just one. Leave the rest. By putting the tick in the box of your candidate, you have demonstrated, I'm not voting for the others, I'm only voting for this person. You don't have to put a cross on the others. No, leave them. You don't have to. We have been made to understand there are some very unpatriotic Ugandans. Even the word unpatriotic is very kind. What word should I use? That they are telling people, once you tick or you tick for the candidate of your choice, you cross the others. That's what I'm told they are saying. Really, those are enemies of democracy. We have heard that some people are telling voters, once you have ticked for your candidate, then the others you put a cross to show you are not voting for them. Please do not mislead the public. Do not mislead the public. The right thing to do is what the law prescribes. If the law, the makers of the law, had intended that once you have voted for your candidate, you put a cross on the others, they would have said so. That is not the law, and therefore we should avoid misleading people. Don't try to come back to vote the second time, because the machine will have already marked you that you have voted. If you try to come back a second time, you will be rejected, because you are not allowed to vote more than once. If you try to go to another district and think you vote from there because these districts are nearby, you can move to about 10 districts in one day. Your name will not appear on any other register of that district. Your name can only appear on the register of the district where your polling station is located, not anywhere else. So don't waste your time. For those, you remember we informed the nation. The Electoral Commission was giving out or issuing voter allocation slips. That process is supposed to go until, I think, is it today or tomorrow? That's when it will be concluded. We want to appeal to all those who have not yet picked their voter allocation slips to do so that on Thursday, you know which specific polling station to go to without having to roam around all over the place. However, if you have your national ID, you can also come with it, because the national ID has a barcode. Whether it is expired or not, just come with it. But even if you don't have a national ID, you don't have a voter allocation slip, as long as you know you are a registered voter at this polling station, you will come and tell the presiding officer, my name's Abyabaka Mugenyi Simon. They will go to the manual register and open it to look at your name or your names. Although that takes some bit of time. Now, after you have been confirmed to be on the voters register, then they subject you to the biometric kit, the fingerprint or the facial, so that you can be issued with a ballot paper. I think, I would say, Julius, you said there is a flip chart where we can carry out some demo or some indicate some writings to show how a vote is rendered invalid and so on. Do we have a marker there or a pen? Why don't you bring it here in front of the cameras? This is so small. Can you draw the ballot paper? What starts here? See the name? Give some space there. Okay. You do it like this. Name, the photograph, therefore. Okay, the first column is normally the name of the candidate. Okay. Then the photograph. Okay. The photograph. Photograph. And so on. Then the symbol, can put a ball or a table or a tree. Okay. Name, photograph, symbol. Then this is the box for the tick or the thumbprint. But if the candidate puts the tick or thumbprint here, this is a valid ballot paper. This one. Either he has pressed the tick here on the name, or on the photograph, or on the symbol. That is a valid ballot. All right? On any of these. Although the place designated for the mark, this is the mark. Mark, name, photo, symbol. So this is the or I'll put. You put. You put here. Yeah. If the voter puts the thumbprint or the mark on the symbol in that box of the candidate, that line of the candidate or column of the candidate, this is valid. This is valid, or if it goes there, it's valid. Although the box for the mark is here, but if the tick goes like this, it has crossed this box and this box. That is invalid. That one is invalid because it has crossed two. Can you put a thumbprint? Cross both. Aha. Now you see this thumbprint as well. It has crossed this box and this box. You cannot tell whom did this voter vote for. The thumbprint crosses both boxes. The tick crosses both boxes. So that one is invalid. But supposing the person puts the tick here, outside the box, the tick is there. Can you put a thumbprint here? Outside. Here. The voter has put the tick outside this box or the thumbprint. This is a valid ballot or vote. Why? The intention of the voter can be understood. That although he has misplaced the tick out or the thumbprint outside, but his intention was to vote for the candidate who is in this column or line, and so on and so forth. But if the person ticks here, then crosses, that is wrong. Or he writes the words, our man. That is not a recognized symbol. There are two, either thumbprint or a tick. So I wanted the people to understand this. A tick on any of these areas, either on the name, on the photo, or on the symbol, is a valid vote. Even outside here, you can still understand the intention of the voter. However, if the tick crosses two boxes, as is here, no. The thumbprint that crosses two boxes, no. Or that is in two boxes, no. That is invalid. I think that is very, very clear as far as what is invalid. So we have emphasized this to the presiding officers. They should not invalidate people's votes merely because the mark is not where it is supposed to be. I thought I should make that very clear. Thank you. Basebo ne banyabo twagala okubaaniriza abamawulire bazze, twagala kwebaza abannayuganda bonna abatambudde wamu n'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda mu nteekateeka y'okulonda kwa bonna. Tutuuse ku ssaawa esembayo naddala ebikwata ku campaigns. Olwaleero abeesimbawo ku bwa president, bwa member of parliament, bwe bakomekereza campaign zaabwe. Rallies oba enkungaana zigenda kukoma ssaawa 12. naye abalinayo programu za radio oba TV olweggulo oba ssaawa z'ekiro abasobola okugenda mu maaso mpaka ssaawa 6 z'ekiro. Nyina okutandika olunaku lw'enkya teri campaign zonna zikkirizibwa wadde okuyisa ebivulu mu makubo nga muyimba oba bayimba ennyimba ez'obuwagizi eri candidate yenna. Eyo ebalwanga campaign ate kiba kimenya mateeka. Ku lunaku lw'okulonda tusaba bonna abeewandiisa nga balonzi mugende mu bifo ebironderwamu ba polling stations. Era olwale tugenda obalaga station nga bwebeera abantu bange ba staff bamaze dde okutegeka wano. Naye amateeka gagamba nti polling station olina okuteekebwa ng'egendera emitendera naddala ekikwata ku space erina okubeera wakati w'ebifo by'enjawulo. Ekifo kisookerwako y'emmeeza eriko akozesa kuuma oba biometric kit akakakasa omulonzi. Ate meeze ne kubeerako presiding officer oba akulira polling station eyo ng'alina ballot papers ng'alina na register. Kati omulonzi wamala okukakasibwa kuuma nga bamuwadde akapapula ako agenda ku emmeeza y'okubiri. Okusinziira mu mateeka emmeeza erina okubeera mita 15 okuva ku mmeeza esookerwako 15 meters. Ku mmeeza eyo kuli besini eyo mubeeramu ekalaamu oba peeni n'akagundi ka bwino inkpad. Kati omulonzi awateera akatiiki oba oba ekinkumu ku ballot ng'alonda candidate w'ayagala. Bw'amaliza kola ekyo amateeka gagamba walina kubeera emmeeza y'okusatu. Emmeeza y'okusatu erina kubeera mita 10 okuva ku mmeeza ey'okubiri. Kati ku mmeeza y'okusatu eyo kwe kubeera ballot box eryenjeru we bateeka ballot paper. Bw'ava awo omulonzi ate n'agenda ku mmeeza y'okuna olina kubeera nayo mita 10 webabeera omuntu alina kalaamu n'ateeka ku njala oba ku kinkumu okukakasa nti gwe wamaze okulonda. Kibola ogamba tugamba nti bwe tugamba nti tugoberere emitendera egyo nga bwe yalambika mu mateeka nga tuobserving oba tugondera spaces ezo, ojja kwesanga polling station teziina n'ebifo ebimala bulungi okutuukiriza kiki tugambe engeri gye osanga emmeeza esooka n'eyokubiri biri kumpi nnyo mita nga 5 so nga teyandibadde mita 15 ng'eyeetongodde yokka kubanga akalulu kakyama. Teri akkirizibwa okutegeera ani gw'olonze ng'oli mu bensini wali. Teri alina okukimanya okuggyako gwe ne Katonda wo. Naye kyobola tukubiriza abantu nti mwewale okuleeta omujjuzo ku polling stations. Mwewale okuleeta omujjuzo ku polling stations. Bw'oba omaze kulonda ddayo waka gwe waze n'odulonda bulungi. Naye kakati lwako oyagala kusigala kumpi ne polling station mutandike okuleeta akavuyo, mutandike okuteekawo embeera n'etiisatiisa. Bano abantu abatasobola ebyobuvuyo ng'abakyala, abantu abakadde n'abaliko obulema. N'olwekyo tubagamba nti oba ffenna tulina ekiruubirirwa kimu okubeera n'akalulu k'amazima n'obwenkanya n'emirembe, ffenna tuweerezanga nnyo mwagaanya opportunity buli omu asobole okulonda nga bwe kisoboka. Awo mbadde ndaga akalulu akafu boodogizaayo nyandibadde nnyonnyola mu Luganda ate muleete boodi nnyonnyole mu Luganda kikulu nnyo. Kati waliwo ensonga abantu bangi gyebegoddeko ekwata ku kalulu akafu n'akalamu. Kubanga tukizudde nti obululu obwo oluusi obufu businga n'obululu omuntu bwafunye, n'osanga candidate afunyeyo bululu 300,000 naye ne bagamba nti obufu bubadde 40, era waliwo yagambye nti butera kukwata ekifo kyokusatu. Iba nange ekyo kyenyamiza nnyo. Kati ne tugamba nyakubye wano gundi eno tugambe ye ballot paper, wekisooka gemmanya gabeesimbyewo ku kifo ekyo. Ekyokubiri bye bifaananyi byabeesimbyewo. Ekyokusatu ke kabonero oba simbo. Akokuna ye space walina okuteekebwa ekinkumu oba akatiiki. Naye oluusi osanga nti omulonzi akatiiki nga akatadde ku linnya lya candidate oba ku kifaananyi oba ku kabonero. Emirundi egisinga obungi batugamba nti ba presiding officer babadde bagamba nti kano kafu kubanga katiiki kandibadde wano mu box eno oba ekinkumu. Naye kusinziira mu mateeka kasita ekigendererwa ky'omulonzi kisobola okukakasibwa yadde akamaaka oba ekinkumu takitadde mu kabokisi kali kana kalulu sifu kalamu nnyo. Oba tadde ku kinkumu amene ekinkumu akitadde mu kulinnya oba kifaananyi oba kabonero ako kalamu. Naye wano kyovola kati tutadde wano ekinkumu wano kano kalamu na kano kalamu. Naye bw'ateekako ekinkumu nga kiri mu bokisi ya candidate gundi ne bokisi ya gundi, ako kati kaba kafu kubanga tusobola kutegeera abadde alonda mwami Opiyo oba abadde alonda mwami Waswa, kubanga ekinkumu kiri mu bokisi ya Waswa na Opiyo. Oba bw'aba akozeseza katiiki oba peeni n'akola katiiki bwe kati ne kava wa Waswa ne kayingira Opiyo, kati awo si tosobola kumanya abadde alonda Opiyo oba Waswa. Kati kanako kafu. Oba oluusi osanga nti kano ebweru ava mu bokisi buno bwonna naye n'asala kuteeka katiiki ebweru ku side eno tugambe oba side eno ayinza akateeka side eno n'agamba ze katadde eyo kubanga obutubeefu ababeera mu minutes bw'oba item oba ogimaze tutera okutiikinga wano side eno eyo item ewedde. Bw'abanga akatiika katadde wano naye kali mu layini yennyini ya candidate kano kalamu, etteeka ligamba osobola okukakasa kiki ani wabadde alonda oba waalonze. The intention of the voter must be understood or ascertained. Kakati wano naye binga bwe ngambye ekyunkumu ekiyingira mu bokisi bubiri kafu, akatiika ayingira mu bokisi bubiri kafu. Naye kakati ekyokulabirako ekirala omaze okuteeka ku katiiki oba ekinkumu mu bokisi naye awalala bakandidate n'oteekako ka x oba oyonoona kaluluko, obumaaka buli obu ekinkumu oba katiiki ebintu bikulu. Njagala ensonga eno bannayuganda bagitegeere bulungi nti obululu buleme kufa baleme bogamba nti bufu. Kyovola oluusi abantu bano babeera ku polling station babeera bangi nga beetooloola ekifo kyonna. Presiding officer oluwanika akalulu bwe kati bwe balaba nti kubanga tebayigirizibwa balala bano abatali polling station bagamba nti kafu lwa nsonga nti kaliwa nga katiiki yakatadde ku linnya. Kati olw'okuba nti bangi nnyo bawoganira waggulu kafu bane bateekamu n'enduulu walalala kafu. Kati ne presiding officer n'awalirizibwa okukola ki akalulu kagamba nti kafu so nga tesi kafu. Naye kye twagala ebintu bino tugondera mateeka kubanga amateeka gagamba nti kasita ekigendererwa ky'omulonzi kisobola okukakasibwa oba okutegeerebwa akalulu kasigala kali kalamu. Ensonga endala amateeka tegakkiriza okugenda ng'oyambadde ekyambalo ekiriko ekifaananyi kya kandidate wo oba ebigambo ebimusuuta oba ekofiira yekibiina kyo oba ekyambalo kyonna kyerangi yekibiina kyo, ebyo byonna bikomekerezebwa olwaleero bwe bikoma. Bw'oba ogenda ku polling station tambula ogende ng'oyambadde engoye za bulijjo. Bwe tuba tugenda mu makanisa n'omuzikiti tugenda twambadde ebyambalo by'ebibiina nga twambala engoye zaffe za bulijjo. Nolwekyo tubagamba nti ku lunaku lw'okulonda bw'ogenda ng'oyambadde ekyambalo kyonna ekiraga obuwagizi bwa candidate wo, tebajja kukkiriza mu polling station, bajja kugamba genda osauke oyambale bulungi olyoke odde olonde. Ensonga endala ya ebipapula ebyatimbibwa ku polling station. Byatimbibwa ku polling station. Ebyo nabyo bigenda kutimbulwako kubanga polling station teteekwa kubeerako ebipapula by'abacandidates bonna ababadde abeesimbyewo. Ekyokugulirira abalonzi, oluusi waliwo abantu abayimirira mu makubo oba mu mabbali ne batandika kuwa abalonzi ssente. Okugulirira abalonzi oba bawa ssente kimenya mateeka, era omuntu yenna n'asangibwa nga kikola kumpi ne polling station oba abantu bonna agenda kukwatibwa agulweko omusango. Okutiisatiisa abantu nga bagenda kulonda kubanga omanyi ono tawagira kandidate wange n'otandika omutiisatiisa, ssebo nnyabo oyinza kwesanga we tunaamalira okulangirira ebivudde mu kulonda gwe ng'opa okukomera kubanga ogwo musango okutiisatiisa abantu. Oba obazibira ogenda kulonda kubanga batugamba nti waliwo bagenda ne beekolamu omulimo bwe balaba nti bano tubamanyi bano tebawagira candidate waffe ne mutandika obatiisatiisa. That is wrong. You are not supposed to prevent a citizen from exercising his constitutional right. Tokkirizibwa okugaana oba okukugira omuntu yenna Munnayuganda ogenda kukozesa obuyinza walina mu ssemateeka. Waliwo aba candidates betugjeemu kusinziira ku misango gye tubadde tuwulira, naye olw'okuba nti ebiseera bye twasala nti tebasaana kubeera ku ballot paper nga twamaze dde okuba ballot paper. Kati ballot paper weziri oba eziriwo webali ku ballot, naye mu mateeka tebakyali ki candidate. Ate tusobola kuddamu okuba ballot paper endala. Kati ekyo tujja kuba tuteeka notice oba okutegeeza ku polling stations nga tutegeeza abalonzi nti mukyala babiriye candidate babiriye twamusazizaamu takyali candidate naye okuba akyali ku ballot naye temumuwa kalulu kubanga bw'okamuwa kaba kafu. Era tujja kuba tutegeeza naba presiding officers bebananga bakwasa office gundi voter oba mulonzi akalulu bagenda omulabula nti oyo candidate avuddemu. So tujja kuba tutegeeza abantu polling stations nti candidate oyo tasaana kuweebwa kalulu. Ate waliwo abavuddemu nabo bagamba nti nze nvuddemu nga nsonga ezitali zimu kikirizibwa mateeka. Oyinza kuba wasunsulwamu n'essaawa netuuka n'ogamba nti nze sikyayagala kubeera candidate mbivuddemu. Kasi ogendera okugoberera amateeka nga bwe gagamba engeri gyolina okuvaamu. Abo nabo nga bakyali ku ballot paper tujja kuba tutegeeza aba voters polling station the candidate gundi yavuddemu takyali ku kalulu mu kalulu kano temuwa kalulu. Bwe muwa kalulu kaba kafudde. I think byebyo byenjagadde ntangaazi. Yes, abo batasoola abaliko abazibe b'amaaso abatayina abaliko bulemu nga tebasobola okulonda be bokka amateeka gakkiriza bajje n'omuntu asobola obayamba gulondedde bokka, oba omwana kuva waka oba mukwano gwe oba muganda we akkirizibwa okujja naye ku polling station yamubuulira buulizi nti nze kandidate wange gundi kati oyo muyambi n'ateekako oba katiiki mu box ya candidate, omuntu oyo kateeyamba waaba alonze okubeera mu candidate we. Basebo ne banyabo njala kubeebaza b'amawulire mutambudde wamu n'akakiiko buli lusaabwe tubayita bambi wonne mujja mu bungi okusobola okutegeeza eggwanga biki ebigenda mu maaso. Ffe nga akakiiko tuweyamye era tewaddeyo okulaba nti ennaku 15 ku Lwokuna kati kubeera k'amazima k'obwenkanya, era tusaba bannayuganda ffenna mu biti byaffe twekuume, tugondere amateeka, tubeere bakakkamu ate tubeere babuntu bulamu, kubanga Uganda egenda kusigala Uganda nga nsi yaffe ng'okulonda kuwedde. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalira. Kakati bagenda obalaga wano nga polling station bw'ebeera. Ebbaala bananga balina ebbaala kumpi ne polling station. Balina bbaala kubanga manyi polling station zaffe naddala mu bibuga wezira oluusi kubeerako bbaala. Tokkirizibwa okutunda ekyokunywa kyonna, si soda kirala. N'ebino ebifuula obwongo ebifuula obwongo bw'abantu ne bujjamu ebirowoozo bitakwatagana bulungi. Tubasaba timugulawo bbaala okutunda omwenge. Okay, tekikkirizibwa, sooka oggalewo. Bw'ebanga bbaalayo eri kumpi na polling station nga mita 10 giggalewo, tukusaba giggalewo. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. What is next on the polling station? Yes.
Please, let's keep it simple. You mention your name and stick to only one question.
Thank you so much. My name is Grace Seginya from Salt Media. Mr. Biabakama, there is a pending issue. There was a communication which came from UCC. It barred all media houses from reporting results from the polling stations. We are aware there are journalists that have been accredited to do this exercise. They are saying that it's supposed to be you only to declare these results. I'm telling you, this is going to make our work so hard, because there are even penalties that have been set to all media houses. Actually, the chairperson said that he's ready to battle with us in court. Have you had any arrangement or talked to them, or you have instructed them to issue such instructions to media houses that we are supposed to get from you? Or otherwise, we are supposed to be bringing live feeds to the Electoral Commission so that you can give us the results instead of relying on our reporters? Thank you.
Yes, nyesigaruka Michael Mon TV. Ekibuzo kyange oyogedde n'ogamba nti abalonzi abajja ku polling station kulonda olunaku tebambala kala z'ebibiina. Bayikala z'ebibiina otegeeza ki? Kubanga kigenda ne ekiwandiiseeko ku t-shirt oba kala, because bw'ogamba kala agenda kubanga ayambadde red, yellow oba green, bajja kumuzzaayo.
Mr. Chairman, nze Paulo Bakabulindi nkola ne BBS Telefina. Ekibuzo kyange kiri ku bikozesebwa mu kulonda. Is it last week wa dispatching okutambula kw'ebikozesebwa mu kulonda? Twagala okumanya disitulikiti zonna 16 zamaze okufuna bituukiddwa olwaleero. Ekibuzo ekyokubiri, safety yaabyo ku mikutu egy'enjawulo tuze tulabako awamu nga waliwo abapoliisi abakutte abantu abamu nga kigambibwa nti babadde bagezaako okukyusa seals za boxes ezirimu obululu. Twagala kumanya bwe muba mulina bwe mukutte bameka era mwabaguddeko misango ki, era mulinawo provisions ze mwakoze okulaba nti obululu obwo mudamu ne mubwekennenya ne mukyusa boxes ezo neyanzeege.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Leonard Kamgisha from Parrots Media. My question goes to previous electoral cycles. We have seen delays in the delivery of electoral materials, especially in the Kampala metropolitan area. So the voters outside there are asking, how about this time? How prepared is the Electoral Commission in delivering of those materials timely? And then the second one, you talked about the validation of polling ballot papers. If a voter correctly ticks his or her candidate of choice, but on top or on the footer of the ballot paper or at the back page, right there for political prisoners, what happens to such a ballot paper? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Jimmy reminds my name from the Uganda Radio Network. Mine is about the disqualified candidates. Until giving a chance to your officers to help, telling voters that a candidate is disqualified and yet is not disqualified, because we want to give us assurance that your officers are going to be telling the voters the right message or the right candidate who is on the ballot. So we would like to know which process are you planning to use to make sure that your officers do not, because you have told us that you are going to be using your officers to pass the message to the voters.
First of all, I want you to be brief as possible, and ask only one question, because we have so many things to do after this. Okay?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Peter Wandeme. I work with Delta TV. You're still having petitions of some of the candidates. Like yesterday, you met the team of Mr. Damulira of Kawempe. Are you really fair to declare these people to still be on the ballot when you have even done a judgment of these complaints? And either way you do the judgment, don't you think that one of the parties will be so much affected by this ruling? Why didn't you have a cutout, a certain kind of period whereby the petitions could end, but you still had to do all this prolonged process one day to the election?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Najita Aida. I work with Success Radio. Please throw more light on what time should voting start, and under what circumstances should voting be extended? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm Sawya Namwanja. I work with Bukedde newspaper, Bukedde print. Mr. Byabakama, today and tomorrow, we've seen that the parish supervisors are already in the field teaching people, throwing more light on the usage of the BVK machines. I would love to hear from you. Does the Electoral Commission have a plan B, just in case those BVK machines get some technical glitches in one way or the other? Then, I had 3 questions. Okay, the last question. Let me put it in Uganda. Bannankyukakyuka misabye abakama bangi. He's on phone. Let me first wait for him. Okay. Bannankyukakyuka be bantumye mbuuze kino ekibuuzo. Bannankyukakyuka bangi abayayanira enkyukakyuka mu ggwanga lino. Singa bakola okusalawo kwabwe, Mwami Byabakama alangirira, oli mwetegefu okulangirira gwe banaabeera bataddeko stamp?
Protocol observed. Protocol observed. William Rwanga from Beg Media.
Asking the Electoral Commission. Yes, protocol observed. William Ranga from Beg Media. I'm asking the Electoral Commission, who will be, especially Justice Biabakama, which security organization is going to be in charge of security at our polling stations countrywide? Thank you so much.
Kyaliyo mwetemukuta
mukama wange nze Abudu Kasozi nkola ne KBS. Oyogeddeko nti abantu abazibe balina omukisa okufuna omuntu abayambako. Senga omuntu oyo ayambako ku muzibe oyo amulaga omuntu ye gwayagala, oyo azze omuyambako n'atiikinga omuntu omulala, omuzibe oyo alina omukisa oba alinawo wayinza okwekubira enduulu.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Amanya nze Omugabi Lubega Hamid Waswa, nkola n'ekitongole ekya Pal FM. Ekibuuzo kyange Chairman kiri nti
let us listen. That is the last question, and let us listen so that we can hear each other.
Mr. Chairman, amanya nze Lubega Hamid Waswa, nkola n'ekitongole ekya Pal FM. Obadde otulaga wali engeri y'okubanga omulonzi atiikingamu akalulu kali. Singa omulonzi avaayo, an example n'akyusinga erinnya lya Waswa, n'atiikinga ku Waswa, n'atiikinga ekifaananyi kya Waswa, n'atiikinga ne kasimbo ne wali box, wawuuna akalulu ako kasigala kalamu oba kaba kafu.
Thank you. You can take just that one. That is the very last one.
Chairman, we have two main candidates in this race.
Who are you?
Abubakar Mwonge is my name. Abubakar Mwonge is my name.
Which media house?
CGTN. We have two main candidates, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, His Excellency, incumbent, and the main opposition candidate, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Voters, people in Uganda, don't believe that you are confident enough to announce Kyagulanyi if he wins. Can you assure the public that the commission is strong enough and confident enough to announce any other winner apart from President Museveni? Thank you so much. Assure the nation, please.
Hello.
Okay, let me begin with the the last question. The Presidential Elections Act says, under Section 59, the Commission shall ascertain, publish, and declare in writing under its seal the results of the presidential election within 48 hours from the close of polling. Very simple. You know, these lawyers at times have words which at times you wonder where they get them. If the lawyers would have told you that question is a redundant question, because the moment you have elections, the law requires that within 48 hours, you must declare the results of the election. That's what that section says. So that question, in my view, is not very relevant. Whether you like it or not, you must declare the results of the elections. And in so declaring the results of the elections, you must also declare who has scored the highest number of votes, and therefore if that person has got over 51% of the votes declared, then that person is the winner. Very simple. So that is question really redundant. Now, the other thing is if the voter ticks, that's whoever later, you bring that chart. We show again. If the voter says, ono candidate ono wange mumatira, this is my real candidate, and to prove this is the person I support, even one tick is not enough. Muwere dala, ensi yona kikakase. Mwadevuna. Can the intention of the voter be established? Ekigendera ky'omulonzi kisobola okutegeerebwa obukakasibwa. That is all. Yadamuwadde mirundi ena ekikulu nti akoze ka emphasis akamwongereko naka oye, naye bw'ateekawo kigamba oye aba byonoonya ate. Naye bw'aba tiiki ku linnya n'awa tiiki kifaananyi, n'aweza tiiki ku simbo oba kabonero, n'aweza ne tiiki mu box. Ekigendererwa ekikulu kiki? Ekigendererwa, the intention of the voter ebe kakasiddwa nti yes, kiba kiwedde. Ako si kafu kalamu. Can remove the flip chart. Then omuntu omuzibe, the blind, omuzibe omuyambi, omuzibe najja n'agamba nti nteekera kuwaswa, naye omuyambi n'ateekawo piyo, kati tunaabikola tutya? Anayekubirawo enduulu ate aba kimanyi nti akawato piyo. Kati omanyi akalulu kaliwe kamala kuyingira mu bokisi muli. Kanjagala okutangaaza kino, omala kuteeka akalulu kali mu bokisi anyerabidde, tekibadde kigenderwa kyange opiya omuwa akalulu, mbadde nkawa waswa. Oba otakyasobola okukajjayo kayingidde dda. Nga kati sente bwe tugenda mu masinzizo, buli edda buga tukyali bato, ensinga ekyateredde, ekibbo kyali kiggule ng'ebenseni, ng'omusuula mu busuuzi, naye kati ensi yakyuka. Gundi akabbo k'omu masinzizo bw'oteekamu emitwalo 5 ng'ogamba mbadde njagala kumuna ku chenji zagenze dda otakyazijjayo. So nolwekyo naye amateeka gagamba, njagala kutangaaza kino, omulonzi ng'akyali mu beseni wali ayinza kukola ensobi, oba ayinza kusanga nti bw'abadde atiikinga ombutanwa akatiiki ne kagenda wa mu bokisi yakandidate gundi ne gundi, naga nkoze ensobi. Amateeka gamukkiriza akalula ku kukazaayo wa presiding officer n'amugamba nkoze ensobi ku kalulu kano, njagala mumpa akalala. Amateeka gakkiriza presiding officer kali kamuggyako n'amuwa kalala n'agenda n'alola, kubanga badde tanakola ki, tanakateekamu, era akalulu ako tekagenda kubalibwa, nako kalina engeri gye bakalambikamu ne balaga nti buno bululu bwabadde spoiled, voter yabwonoonye oba yakoonoonye n'akakomyawo. Naye kamala kuyingira mu bokisi muli, tosobola kuddayo ate wa presiding officer ng'omugamba kali nyakoze ensobi naye nenkateekamu njagala ompakalala nedda ekyo tekikirizibwa. Kyova olaba kyokwewala nti omuntu muzibe okufuna omuntu ataatuukirize muzibe kyamugamba. Kyova olaba bagamba nti omuzibe yalina kusalawo omuyambi wajja naye yalina kusalawo ngu he is going to be the helper of this blind person, is the helper of your choice. Bw'ofuna omuntu wa kibogwe bibyo katonda okola otya, so but it's your choice. Omuzibe yasalawo ani agenda omuyamba mu kulonda. Security organ will be in charge. We have said time and again. Electoral Commission works with the Uganda Police Force as the lead agency, maintaining law and order and providing security. So that is the lead agency. However, under the Constitution, the Uganda Police Force can work with any other agency to support them in their work, particularly during general elections where the exercise is taking place in the entire country. And maybe at times the police do not have enough personnel. So in that case, the law allows them to get assistance from other agencies of the state which have a security bearing. Okay, I think I can keep them. Yes, either voting will start at 7 a.m. and end at 4 p.m. Okulonda kujja kutandika ssaawa emu ebyokukozesa byonna bwe banze kutuuka mu budde nga bwe tugezaako okulaba nti kibo kirina okubeera nga abalonzi. Ate nekyokubiri njagala kakatiriza kino nti okusinziira mu mateeka okulonda okutandika ku polling station kisoboka oba kijja kukolebwa nga abalonzi 10 ku polling station eyo nga bamaze okutuuka. When they are all together, the 10 voters at that polling station must be present at the same time for the polling station to open. Abalonzi 10 balina okubeera ku polling station eyo nga bazze ku mulundi okwo oba aliwo ku budde bwe bumu. Polling station tesobola kuggulwawo okujjako nga balonzi 10 bamaze okuwera. If the 10 voters at that polling station are not there, if there are 7 or 8 or 9, the polling station will not open. If one voter comes and goes away, the second comes and goes away, the third comes and goes away, 10 they come and go away, the polling station will not open. If one voter comes, he waits for others to come, 2, 3, 4, until there are 10, then the presiding officer will declare that polling station open and start the process of voting. Etteeka ligamba nti essaawa 10 bwe ziwera nga mu layini mukyalimu abalonzi baddembe ogenda mu maaso kulonda. Presiding officer talina obuyinza okugoba abalonzi abatuuse ku polling station ng'obudde bukyali. Naye omuntu atakkirizibwa omulonzi yenna ajja kikeererezi ng'essaawa 10 zamaze okukola ki okuwera. Oyo takkirizibwa. Plan B, obuuma bwanga bwengambe tulina obwomwa bubiri buli polling station. Akamu kajja kubeera ku standby. Kano bwe kabeera n'ekizibu ne tuteekako kali. Tetusuubira bwonna obwuma okuba nti bujja kubeera n'ekizibu. Naye ensonga nkulu nnyo eri bweti nti omulonzi yenna tajja kugaanwa okukuba kalulu oba okulonda nedda. No voter is going to be disenfranchised. Every voter at a particular polling station will be given an opportunity to cast his or her vote. Yes, on the issue of petitions, it is true we still have petitions. The law does not tell us when we can stop to hear these petitions, because it says, the Constitution says, the Electoral Commission shall entertain or hear or handle election-related petitions or complaints before polling and even during polling. So the law does not. It also gives us, by the way, some bit of a problem or a challenge that even now there are people who are waiting for us to handle their petitions. That's the law. What do you do? Yes, obubaka obwabo bonna abetusazizaamu oba bavudde mu lwokaano nti ba presiding officers bayinza okuwa amawulire amakyamu. Nedda ssebo, tulina presiding officers, tulina ba sub-county supervisors, tulina ba parish supervisors, tulina ba returning officers, tulina ba assistant district returning officers. Tugenda kulaba nti obubaka obutuufu bwe bugenda okutegeezebwa eri abalonzi, era yenna anaaweereza obubaka obukyamu ng'ali presiding officer agenda kukolebwako mu mateeka. Yes, omuntu aba amaze okulonda oba akatiiki oba ekinkuma katadde abitadde mu box entuufu bulungi, ate mabega n'ateekako ebigambo ebirala. Kati ebigambo byaki owange bigasa ki? Tebagenda kubala bululu kuba tutaddeko ebigambo. So tugamba balonzi mwewale okuteeka ebigambo ebitakkirizibwa oba okuwandiika ebigambo byonna bitakkirizibwa ku kalulu. Kwoyiza kwonoona kalulu ko. Kati eva kiki kyakujja waka wewaze mu kusaaga busaazi beerayo waka, naye akalulu teekako katiiki oba ekinkumu, ebyo bimala. Bw'oteekako ebigambo ebirala ojja kuba oyoonoona kalulu ka candidate wo. Delays in deliver election materials, especially in Kampala. In 2021, we addressed that problem. And even now, we are prepared to ensure materials in Kampala arrive in time to avoid delays. Now, twalabye ku mukutu akatambi nga kalaga nti bagamba nti waliwo omuntu yabadde agezaako okukyusa seals ku black boxes omwagendedde ebintu twatwalidde ebintu by'okulonda. Omuntu oyo twamutegedde abadde mu katambi wa staff w'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Ekyabaddewo kiri bwe kiti nti bwe baali babadde batwala boxi zino mu loole, okay, olw'okuba nti boxi zigenda nga buziti, makubo gaffe si materevu nnyo. Kakati ku boxi eyo siiru n'emenyeka mu kkubo. Sigamba nti bamenyemenye, nedda, siiru yamenyese. Ate ebiseera y'okumenya siiru bate tebyanatuuka. Jjukira nti siiru eyo ebeera ku box, black box, mwe muli ballot papers, mwe muli register, mwe muli DR form n'ebirala ebigenda kukozesebwa polling station. Siiru eyo erina kumenyebwa wali ku polling station ku lunaku lw'okulonda lwennyini. Naye mu kutambula kuno ebintu nga bigenda bikuubagana, siiru n'emenyeka. Kakati returning officer kyabadde agezaako okukola, officer kyabadde agezaako okukola kwe kulaba nti kubanga mu box omwo tuteekamu kituyita spare seals, because we know a seal can be broken in transit. Tuteekamu spare seals kwegamba nti eno siiru webanga efunye ekizibu ng'emenyese, you can replace it and make sure that box is sealed until polling day. Naye kakati ye bambi wadde agezaako kikola kuba twamaze okukitegeera. Yabadde agezaako okuzzaako siiru endala, kati embeera n'esajjuka mulobo biki mugezaako okukyusa ebintu, naye twamukubidde essimu ne tumubuuza, era naffe tukimanyi nti si guno mulundi gusoose, kubanga amakubo gaffe ebintu bitubitwala wala nnyo. Amakubo gaffe mulimu ebinnya, kati oluusi box zigenda ne zikuubagana, ebisiiru za pulasitiika ogenda kwesanga zikoze eki zikutuse. Ate olaba ne roole bwe ziba zitambula mu makubo, spring n'emenyeka ekyuma, ate siiru y'ekipulasitiiki. Niba nange nammwe mutegeerenga ebintu bino si kumala wowowo n'ebintu bitalimu. Ebintu byonna materials zetugenda kukozesa ku lunaku lw'okulonda, naddala olunaku lw'okuna, zamaze kutuuka mu districts zonna 146 zatuuse. zaatuuse era enkya ku ssaawa nga not lunaku lw'enkya ku lwokuna ssaawa nga 9 ez'ekiro bajja kutandika era ba agents ba presidential candidates na political parties twamaze obategeeza nti beteeketeeke okujja okulaba ebintu ebingeri bagenda obijja we twabitadde maofiisi gaffe we tubikuumidde nga tubiteeka ku motoka ezigenda obitambuza obitwala ku polling stations. Tubasaba bajje babeerewo so that they witness how these things are being loaded. But we have distributed these materials. Yes, nga bwe ngambye omanyi bw'oyambala olugoye oluko erangi lw'ekibiina kyo ku lunaku lw'okulonda ate ng'ekitebe kyo ekibiina kyo ky'obufuzi nga kirina candidate, of course kiba kitegeeza nti olaga obuwagizi eri candidate akutte bendera y'ekibiina. Kiba amateeka gagamba nti ebyambalo ebyo mubireke awaka, mwambale ebyambalo bya bulijjo, si bino biriko erangi y'ekibiina, kakofiira k'ekibiina and so on and so forth. UCC njagala okutangaza kintu kimu bassebo ne bannyabo. The power, the authority to announce or declare election results lies with the Electoral Commission. Obuyinza bwaweebwa akakiiko k'ebyokulonda okulangirira n'okutegeeza abantu biki ebivudde mu kulonda. Si muntu yenna, si kitongole ky'amawulire, naye bwe tugamba nti ebitwakafunako bwe biti kati bwe amawulire musobola obitangaza mugamba nti okusinziira ku kakiiko k'ebyokulonda ebyakafuluma bwe biti, ebyakave Karamoja bwe biti, nga mulangirira. Naye bwe n'oteeka wali NTV n'eteekawo gundi center n'erangirira NBS, UBC, kati awo tuwulira ani tuleka ani ayogera ekituufu. So mulindirire mpaka akakiiko by'okulonda bwe kanaabategeeza biki bitufunye ebivudde mu kulonda. Kyeba ndowooza UCC yagamba temuteekako mikutu ne mugamba nti mwe mugenda okulangirira kubanga bwonna olangirira bitatuukiridde ate nga kakiiko nikeleeta ebirala gwebyo katuna obinyonyola oteera abantu. So that's why we say leave the issue of announcing, declaring the results to the Electoral Commission. You can relay or report what the Commission has released to the country. I think that is all. Basova nyabo mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala, Mukama bakuume, tujja kuba tukyalabagana kubanga tukyatambuza olugendo mpaka ennaku 15 ne 17. Thank you very much. Kakati basebo ne bannyabo polling station ngiguddewo, abalonzi mwenna musobola okujja. Kana kaboksi. Presiding officer Arua, Vincent. This is the presiding officer and his team. They are now in charge of this polling station. You can see the box in which the materials come. This is this type. This is a black box in which the materials for polling all the country. Every polling station, every polling station is going to receive a black box like this one on 15th. This is the one carrying the materials. Okay? This is the box carrying the ballot papers, the register, the cordoning tapes, the aprons, the extra seals. Now that lady, you know, she was holding seals like this, not so? The mamulabi akute seals weziti oyabadde mu katambi yazijjimu zino weziti kati eri yamenyese abana agenda kutulako emu agizzeeko wano bokisi emu kwegamba bwana agenda gitwalira ku polling station nga kuliko seal. So bino bye bibeeramu Aprons abagenda kukola polling station buli omu alina kwambala apron. Presiding officer ayambala apron bweti. Polling assistant babeerako nga 5 ba 6 ne bayambako. Enregister ebeeramu ekitutalina muno kubanga kino kyakolaga bulazi demonstration. I think obululu we buli in ballot paper za kugezesa bugezesa siziri zennyini ziri za kugezesa temutya. Kakati gundi ballot paper I mean yes, these are the ones. Ennaku 15 bagenda kulonda president naba member of parliament wabakyala ate n'omulala wa constituency. Naye jjukira nti voter aliogu kitegeeza buli voter agenda kubeera n'obululu bumeka 3. Kakati olw'okutabuzaabuza vote oyo twakoze obupapula buno ku mulundi guno nti bwe bamuwa obululu 3 box esooka ya president akasigala nako mu mikono nga akakutte, naye buli obubiri wanga box ya mukyala yo ndala na box ya elected ndala, buli obubiri agenda buteeka muno then bw'amalayiriza wali nga taddeko ekinkumu wakati ki president nga kasudde muno n'agenda ku box y'abakyala akalulu nga akajja n'akateekako ki akatiiko b'ekinkumu nako n'akateeka mu box y'abakyala and so on and so forth. Bwe bunu obugundi buno bwe tutaddeko bwe banasooka okukumira obululu obwo bwanyi kaffe ssebo kaffe kantu kaffe okatwala wa tukwazise bwazise kumala dakiika ezo ntono nnyo kani kino kiveera mumanyi nti bagenda okubala obululu bintu byatukola ebintu by'obwerufu bannange naye bannayuganda n'obobeera mwerufu n'oboyeyambula bajagamba tetumatidde kiveera nga batematandika kubala obululu ebiri mu bokisi muno obululu babuteeka mu bokisi eno. Kati jjukira nti ng'okulonda kunatandika basooka bokisi ne bagira mulabyemu kintu muno ng'ate muli ne bateekako siiru bateekako siiru ku bokisi eno balina okusibako siiru kwegamba omuntu aleme kujja akole ki zibaako 2 oba 3 wandimeka kakati okulonda bwe kugwa ng'essaawa z'okubala zigenda kutuuka nga zituuse bamenya siiru zino ne bawiwa byonna ku kiveera kino byonna si mutaka obululu bwonna buli mu bokisi ne babuwiwa wa ne bwa MP mumubeera veera ne babuwiwa bubeera bwoka bw'aba MP bubeera bwoka twagambye akuuma kajja kusooka kakaka bululu buno buli mu bokisi butuufu oba si butuufu bwayise ku ddaala ku table number 1 oba nedda oba babuleese buleese ne babusonseka mu bokisi kale bajja kusooka bakole ki babusikaninge eno oluvannyuma babubale buli kandidate bwafunye ne baburekodinga ndowooza byebyo waliwo kirala yes kale so is there anything else you want to explain to the people? Listen. Ndowooza byebyo
tulabanga obudde obugenda kuba obungi ate nga ogambye nti etteeka bayirwa mukaaga teekeddwa obeera nga tegedde omukulembeze omupya
kusoboka tujja kugezaako kyova olaba kulina kugwa 10 tusigadizeyo akadde ng'obudde bukyali tusobole okubalabula olubunu bonna era n'obuyisa obuuma bino bya kalimagezi kyova olaba ng'oluusi obudde bwe butukwata tubeerako n'ettaala ya sola ettaala ya sola beera amba obudde bwe bufa ne tusobola okukozesa ettaala ne byonna nga bisobole okutambula bulungi tujja kugezaako ekisoboka kulaba nti tubitambuza mu budde bwennyini. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you later.
Thank you very much, Lord Chairperson, for the messages and explanations. Now, let us clear here so that voters come, and I hand over to... We are going to do a sample of a process of voting, and we are going to go straight to that process. Starting from voters. We have some voters here on a sample, a mock register for purposes of a proper demonstration, including seeing how the machine verifies a voter and how the machine verifies ballot papers. So if we can go that side so that, because the voter is going to come, presiding officer, take charge of your polling station. The rules at the polling station apply. 20 meters, you can measure them and decide. The secrets of the ballot must be observed. So let's clear the space where you see the Kagua is you cannot go inside it. So officer, you introduce the people that you are working with, and we straight away, no explanations, the voters should be straight.
So right now, with me here, I have my officials I'm going to work with. Besides me is the BVK operator, and this is a polling assistant who's going to help me in the register. In front of me here, the candidate agent, and alongside each ballot box, there is a station, a polling assistant, who's going to be helping the voters where to press the right ballots according to categories. Now, I am going to call to come and witness opening of the polling station. I want who are Electoral Commission staff. 10.
the office, then he said you haven't reached the office yet. Yeah, I left him reach office, I think.
What? Now, remember we are going to use this BVK machine for voting voters. Right now, we are at the step of assigning the officials who are going to use the machine. I already told you that beside me is the operator. Right now, he's trying to assign officials, himself and me the officer. This is the step we are at now. Right now, we have assigned the ballots that we are going to use at the polling station. Remember, Chairman told you that all the ballots that are going to be used at the polling station, we assigned them in this machine, so that at the end of the day, they are the same ballots that should be found in the ballot boxes. So we have finished assigning the ballots right now. We are going to assign the witnesses, those who are overseeing whether everything that was brought to the polling station is right and correct. The witnesses must be in the register, and we are right now checking them in the register to confirm whether they are the right voters of this polling station.
They've now finished authenticating the second witness. So for demonstration purposes, we are supposed to be having 10 witnesses. We'll use 3 in the interest of time. After the witnesses have been verified, we'll go straight into the polling process. Being one of the witnesses, I'll be the first voter to do the voting. So after scanning and verifying the voter, they'll go ahead and scan the 3 ballots and then hand them over to the voter. So the verification is going to go continuously for the whole day since we've started voting until the last voter, like they said, in the line by 4 p.m. or the person who's in line and the constable is standing them behind them at 4 p.m. So a voter locator slip, a national ID, and the register can all be used for identification and can be scanned. So we have a voter who has come and doesn't have a voter locator slip and national ID, so they are going to check for him in the register and then scan the register before doing the biometrics. When they scan the register or the IDs, it will bring the picture on the screen. And then they will allow him to be able to do the biometrics. The biometrics also were okay, so he's going to be allowed to vote. So the voter has come with a national ID that is not original and has not been well kept. The machine has not been able to read her well, so we are going to check in the register for her details. They've been able to identify her on the register, so they'll go ahead and do the biometrics. And she'll be issued with the 3 ballots. So this voter is also going to be verified through the register. So the voter came to the wrong polling station. They checked the ID and is not in, and the machine will say voter does not vote in this place. If they are supposed to be voting within the district, then it will direct them to the polling station where they are supposed to be casting their vote. Let's move faster. They are trying the biometrics of the current voter to be able to issue the ballots. The fingers have to be clean so that they can be read by the fingerprint scanner. So we have 2 voters left in the line and a few others that have come after 4. So we have a voter that has come to try and vote for the second time. So this voter has come to try and vote for the second time. When they scan her ID, it will show that she's already voted and it's rejected, so the constable will come and take her away. So she was the last voter in line before polling. We have 2 other people and they'll be sent away because it's already 4 p.m. and they were not in the line. So we'll get into the post-ballot verification, which is the scanning of the ballots before they are actually counted, to show that they have gone through the machine at the beginning from this polling station, and then will be the ones that will be counted. So they lay the polythene down and bring the boxes for verification. So the presiding officer and the operator are closing the election process. There will be no one who will be allowed to vote after that. They still have to do the identification and do the biometric verification. So now the presiding officer is closing. We are closing polling so that we don't continue with the polling after this. So now we are ready for post-ballot verification. Each of the ballots that was cast in the box is going to be scanned. We are going to see how fast it is, just like the verification of the voters was. Every ballot is out of the box. We'll start with the president box. So the ones that are verified and are okay for voting will be given to one polling assistant. The others will be given to another, so that we differentiate the ones that will be counted and the ones that were unverified, the ones rejected by the machine. And then the process continues for all the boxes. So we are starting with the president. So this one is successful. It was scanned at the beginning. Successful. 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 Rejected. That means that ballot was stuffed in and it was not part of the ones that was stuffed was scanned at the beginning. So it's put this side and it won't be counted. Successful. 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 So we have our ballots that will be counting, the ones that were scanned at the beginning and at the end. The rejected one will be put on the side at the table and kept securely because it will be recorded in the official report book. So we are now going into the counting process. The machine is not going to count. They're going to do it the normal way it has always happened. They will look at the ballot and show it to the crowd, and then they'll start the tallying afterwards. So they classify them according to their candidates and validity.
This is a wrong choice. So this ballot is invalid.
So we have a ballot that's invalid. No, this one made no choice. So it's invalid. Candidate E. Candidate C.
Candidate C.
So after they've done this and separated the valid ballots per candidate, the counting will take place, and then they will do the same, fill the form, and do for the other boxes as well. They are bundled per candidate, and then the declaration of results form is filled. These are invalid, right on them. The other side. So we'll go to the next box and do the same thing. We are going to scan each ballot. Success. Success. Success.
Success.
So the successful ones are going the other side. This has been rejected because it was not scanned at the beginning. That might be a successful one. Success. 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 So all these ones were scanned at the beginning, and then they will be now counted.
Candidate B valid. Candidate B valid. Candidate A valid. Candidate B valid. Candidate A valid. Candidate C valid. Candidate A valid. Candidate E valid. This one did not make any choice.
So the person didn't make a choice, which makes it an invalid ballot. It's also classified alone, and then we go into the counting process per candidate and then fill the DR form. So we are going to now scan the woman MP. So we start the scanning. Success. Success. Rejected, that means it was not scanned at the beginning and it's unverified. We'll put it aside and we'll fill the form. Success. Success. Rejected, that means it wasn't scanned at the beginning. Success. Rejected, that means it's a stuffed ballot, it was not scanned. Success. 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 Now we are going into our manual counting per candidate.
Candidate B valid. Candidate B valid. Candidate B valid. Candidate A valid. Candidate A valid. Candidate A valid. Candidate A valid. Candidate B valid. Candidate E valid. This one did not make a choice, thus this is the invalid vote. Then the candidate A also valid.
So after the counting has been done and the forms are filled, that's the declaration of results form, the BVVK will be able to scan and take a picture of the declaration of results form and the accountability of ballot papers, and then we shall close the election. So we are now filling the declaration of results form, the ones that will be put in the tamper-proof envelope, and then the ones that will be given to the candidates' agents. So when the declaration of results forms are filled, they are scanned. That's for the president, the MP and woman MP, and then a picture is taken and stored on the machine. So they've finished scanning and taking a picture of the declaration of results form and the accountability of ballot papers. We are going to close the election by authentication of the BVVK operator and the presiding officer. So the election has been closed. We cannot continue with any voting or post-ballot verification. The agents have gotten their copies. We have the copy outside the box for them to take to the tally center. That's for the declaration of results, so that the tallying can take place, and then the candidates, that's the woman MP and the direct MP, are declared at the district, and then the results of the president are sent to the National Tally Center for tallying and declaration. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have closed our demonstration. We have one message to say. Let people move with their identifications. Let's go with the notion that one man, one ballot, one vote, so that we can have a credible and transparent elections. I'll give an opportunity to the project manager to give his closing remarks.
Thank you, team, for that demo. Yes. Hey, okay. Yes, I was thanking my team for a wonderful job that they have done, and also to thank the media fraternity present. Yes, as you've been illustrated too, that's how the kit is going to work come 15th of January 2026, which is this Thursday of this week, so we just have a day to go. I would encourage all Ugandans to come and participate in elections. Come and vote your candidates, your leaders. In brief, that's what we would like to say as the project manager for the biometric voter verification of this election that's going to happen 2026. Thank you. Bannayuganda bonna tubeebaza okulaba demo. Tuzze wano okubalaga engeri gye tugenda okukozesaamu machine biometric voter verification. Amanya mpitibwa Mubajje Muhammad nga nze project manager owa project eno gye baatuwa okulaba nti tulina okulaba nti omuntu alonda mulundi gumu gwokka. Omuntu alonda mulundi gumu gwokka, talonda mirundi mingi. So twasalawo okulaba nti twasekitinga tekinologi ono gwe twasanga yajja okusobola okutuukiriza ekyo ekigendererwa ekyokulaba nti omuntu alonda mulundi gumu gwokka, nti wajja bamuverifyinga ne bamwishyuinga baloti ne bagiverifyinga nga akalu kawedde, ate ne baddamu ne baverifyinga ne bakisikaninga ne DRA form eya polling station nga tebanagiweereza ku tally center. So mu brief wekyo system egenda okukola nga mugirabye, teri system nyangu nnyo ezze kulaba nti akalulu tekabbibwa. Abo bonna abadde beetegekera okubba akalulu basobola okukozesa engeri ndala yonna, naye okujja nga akalulu mugenda kabbira ku polling station ekyo kigenda kusoboka kuba kano akuuma kaverifyinga buli mulonzi, ate si kuverifyinga nti koli ku register, naye kaverifyinga n'emikono gyo ne face nti gwe mwennyini n'obanga olina mulongo nga mufaanana nga omanyi abalongo baba bafaanagana. Kato ne waswa babirye abeebugisu tulina bamuhwana, abo bonna akuuma kasobola okubaawula, nti osobola okwawula abalongo batya nti ojja akafaananyi kayinza okuba kakufaanana naye binkumu nga si bibyo, era bajja kukuba polling station temugezaako kujja nakulonda mirundi kisuka mu gulundi gumu. Kati akuuma ako bye kalina okukola, omulimu gwako si gwakubala kalulu, kano akuuma sikeri kagenda okubala obululu, kano akuuma ko kakulondesa. Kati oluvannyuma lw'okulonda DRA form bagenda gitransmittinga ku tally center, district tally center. Akuuma ko just kuverifyinga balonzi, kuverifyinga ballots na kuvalidatinga ballots. Oluvannyuma lw'okulonda kasabagala polling station nga bamaze okujjuzaamu DRA form agenda giweza ku district. Kati district ejja capturinga DRA form evudde buli polling station mu tally system. Ate tally system kalulu kaba ka president
bajja transmitira ku national tally system bakabalire ku national tally center kale brief byebyo mwebale nnyo banigana